Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWAS. NFL Week 3 is here, Thursday Night Football, and we've got an awful football game. I don't even want to talk about it, honestly. Patriots are in melee for this one. Yeah, let's go.
Welcome to the SWAS. The SWAS. SWAS. Hey, get the SWAS.
All right, like I said, we got New England on the road here. Jets laying 6.5. There are 6s open too, so 6 or 6.5 depending on your sports book. Total sitting at 38.5, pretty much across the board here. As far as the action, according to this data that I don't trust, looks like we're leaning towards the Jets here. Over 55% of the tickets on the Jets, about 55% of the money on the Jets as well. So let's get into this one, and we'll start with the Patriots offensive numbers. Real firepower here. All right, no, we're talking 25th in yards per play, 17th in success rate, 13th in EPA. Honestly, these numbers don't look as bad as we expected them to going into the season, but it's only been 2 weeks. I'm sure they'll be dropping down the ranks shortly. 26th in yards per pass attempt. They've actually done a decent job running the football, to be fair. 13th in yards per carry, 19th in success rate. Could be a result of playing a couple shaky run defenses, to put it delicately. As far as Jacoby Brissett, overall, he hasn't been great. Amongst 33 qualified quarterbacks, Jacoby Brissett this year, 27th in yards per attempt, 26th in completion percentage, 27th in big-time throw rate. Now, one thing we do have to give to Jacoby Brissett, you got to keep in mind the reason he won this starting job over Drake May. It's because this offensive line is terrible. Look at their numbers from last year. 28th in pass blocking grade, 32nd, dead last in pass block win rate. They didn't want to throw their rookie, Drake May, behind this offensive line this year, not to mention they're injured as hell. We'll get to that in a second. So the reason Jacoby Brissett won this starting job is he's a veteran that knows how to handle pressure, and to his credit, he's done a good job with that. 9th in turnover-worthy play rate, 9th in pressure-to-sack rate. So he doesn't take sacks. He doesn't turn the ball over. So look, he's not lighting up the scoreboard. He's not lighting up the stat sheet, but he's taking care of the football. He's handling the pressure well, and the pressure is inevitable. The Patriots' offensive line so far looks pretty much as bad as we expected it to, pretty much just as bad as last year. 25th in pressure rate allowed, 29th in pass blocking grade, but they're 14th in adjusted sack rate. Why? Because Jacoby Brissett doesn't take sacks. He handles the pressure well. So again, you have to give Jacoby Brissett credit for that. And you know what? It's not like New England's played Denver and Carolina. They played a couple teams that have somewhat formidable pass rushes, Cincinnati and Seattle. So again, let's give Jacoby Brissett some credit in that department. But now we get to the Patriots offensive line, and honestly, just brace yourself. This is, I want to pull up notes to make sure I don't mess this up, because I don't know if I've ever even seen anything like this. All right, so Okorafor, the left tackle that was supposed to be there to start the season, he left the team. He hasn't been there since week 1, so he's out. The left tackle that's been starting in his place, Lowe is his name, he's out. So left tackle 1 out. Left tackle 2 out. They're on their 3rd left tackle, or their 4th tackle if you include Onwenu. Now, Onwenu is also questionable. Now, I think he's going to play, but he's listed as questionable. So if he's not able to play, that means the Patriots will have their 4th and 5th tackles playing in this game. So it's a mess at tackle. Now let's move inside to the guards. Both guards are out and haven't played a single snap this season. So we got the 3rd and 4th guards on the offensive line as well. Now we move on to the center position. David Andrews, listed as questionable. The backup center, who coincidentally is also named Andrews, Jake Andrews, he's out. He's on the IR. So if David Andrews isn't able to go, that means the Patriots will have their 3rd center out there. So if those 2 guys that are listed as questionable are unable to play, now I think Onwenu's going to play, but let's say they're not. If they're unable to play, they will have their 5th and 6th tackles, their 3rd and 4th guards, and their 3rd center starting in this game. Just wow. Now, you might have heard that and immediately pulled out your phone to place a Jets bet. But hold on, because actually the Jets' defensive front is not in good shape either. Here are their pass rush numbers from last year. Look pretty good, right? 5th in pressure rate, 6th in pass rush grade, 3rd in adjusted sack rate. This was a borderline top 10 pass rush, top 5 actually, pass rush last year. Look at their numbers to start the season. Just 17th in pressure rate, 26th in pass rush grade, 4th in adjusted sack rate. And check this out. Jermaine Johnson is now out. He tore his Achilles. He's out for the season. Hassan Reddick obviously still out. He's waiting for a contract. So the Jets are missing both their edge rushers as well. And CJ Mosley might not even play in this game. He's listed as questionable. So we just laughed about the Patriots offensive line and the current state of it. The Jets defensive front not only hasn't looked good, but they're not healthy either. So will this battered Patriots offensive line be able to generate push in the run game? Will they be able to keep Jacoby Brissett safe in the pocket? I have no idea. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know how to go about even beginning to handicapping that matchup. And to add even more confusion into this, what happened to the Jets secondary? Was this not the best secondary in the NFL last year? They were supposed to be better this year. They brought a healthy Chuck Clark in at safety. He was there last year but missed the entire season. What happened to this secondary? Last year, this was a top 3 pass defense, one of the best pass defenses in the NFL. This year, 22nd in pass defense DVOA, 18th in EPA per dropback, 13th in success rate per dropback. They haven't even been defending the pass that well. Now, some of that might be a result of the lack of pass rush. Obviously, you put less pressure on the quarterback, it puts a lot more pressure on your secondary. That's given, but still, no question we've seen a drop-off. I saw Deebo Samuel and a little bit of Brandon Ayuk cooking DJ Reed in that opener. And even last week's performance against the Titans offense was a little bit deceiving. Yeah, they only scored 17 points in the game, but they were just 1 of 4 on the red zone trips. They turned the ball over 2 times. One of those times, they were on the Jet 6. I'm pretty sure they fumbled it on the Jet 6. So even though they held Tennessee to just 17 points, I don't know if I would call that an elite defensive effort. I mean, the Titans were moving the ball here and there. So now you might be thinking, okay, maybe the Patriots are able to move the ball a little bit in this game. I mean, they certainly improved in the rushing department. Look at their rushing numbers this year in comparison to last year. I mean, 29th to 16th, 25th to 13th, 22nd to 8th, 19th to 19th. Certainly, they've been more productive running the ball. So maybe the Patriots are going to run the ball on the Jets. Maybe they can move the ball on this overrated Jets defense. But here's the thing. Look at the 2 teams the Patriots have seen so far this year. 2 of the worst run defenses in the NFL last year, 28th and 25th. So no shit, their rushing numbers look better. They played 2 ass run defenses. And as far as the Jets defense against the run goes, I honestly don't know. We watched Jordan Mason run all over the Jets in that opener. We all watched it. He did whatever he wanted. He was ripping that Jets defensive front apart. 28 carries, 147 yards, 5.3 yards per carry. But then the following week, Tennessee, who, by the way, we just saw running the ball on the Bears. They averaged like 5.7 yards per carry against the Bears the week before. They couldn't run the ball at all on the Jets. 23 carries, 82 rushing yards, just 3.57 yards per carry. That's the combination of Tony Pollard and Spears. So how do I make sense of that? Because these 2 guys had no problems running the ball against the Bears defense, who then went on to shut down Joe Mixon and the Texans run game the next week. Good luck trying to get a feel for this, man. Here are the Jets run defense ranks on the season. They're definitely down. 14th, 19th, and 4th last year, 26th, 24th, and 20th this year. But again, most of that is a result of what Jordan Mason did on Monday Night Football in Week 1. He ran all over him. So, I mean, I really don't know how I feel about this Jets run defense. As a whole, on this side of the ball, the Patriots offense with their offensive line and the Jets defense with their current situation, I feel like I have no idea how to go about making a prediction here. I'd like to think the Patriots aren't able to do shit here, I guess, but I really am not sure. I think the Jets defense should show up and play well, but I really don't know. Now let's flip it over to the other side and talk about the Patriots defense. And guess what? We're starting with some injuries, as if we haven't had enough of those. Barmore and Bentley, both out. Those are 2 key pieces of the defensive front here for the Patriots. Also, Peppers is listed as questionable. So the Patriots aren't healthy on defense either. Now, on the surface, the Patriots defense has looked pretty good this year. They're allowing just 15 points per game, 265.5 yards per game. So obviously that looks great. But if you look at some more advanced metrics, it indicates that this Patriots defense really hasn't been all that great. 16th at EPA per play, 26th in success rate, 21st at defensive DVOA. And if you're wondering how that's possible, think of it this way. So you have 2 teams, right? They both score 17 points in the game. Team 1 had 10 offensive possessions in the game. Team 2 only had 5. Obviously, the defense against Team 1 played a hell of a lot better than the defense against Team 2. They held them to 17 points, and they got the ball 10 times. So the Patriots playing in these games where the clock's continuously running and their opponent isn't getting many offensive possessions, 15 points a game or 16 points per game, whatever it said, that's not nearly as impressive. That's basically what these advanced metrics are telling us here. It's obviously a lot more in depth than that, but that's a pretty solid example of how something like that would be possible. So let's take a look at who the Patriots have played so far. The Bengals and the Seahawks, both in the top half of the NFL in terms of passing DVOA. And yeah, they did put out a great defensive performance against Joe Burrow and the Bengals in week 1. But that was a little bit of a weird circumstance. I mean, Jamar Chase missed all of camp, fresh off a holdout. Joe Burrow, I mean, we still don't know if he's 100%. So, I mean, still solid. I'm not trying to take credit away from him. But in week 2, we saw a home game against the Seahawks. And look, Geno Smith was piecing them up a little bit. 33 of 44, 327 yards through the air, 1 touchdown, no picks, a 103.1 passer rating. That's not the Patriots defense of last year. Geno Smith wasn't going on the road into New England, throwing for 327 with a 103 passer rating. That wasn't happening in Foxborough last year. So I think that initial game against the Bengals is giving us a little bit of false hope when it comes to this Patriots defense. Now, I know Aaron Rodgers hasn't done anything to really wow us yet this year. 171.5 passing yards per game, just over 60% completion, 6.7 yards per attempt, passer rating just over 92. He's trying to get the ball to Garrett Wilson. It looks good at times. Other times it looks really forced. 8.5 targets per game, 5 receptions a game, 58.5 receiving yards per game. These metrics here have the Jets passing offense as pretty average. 20th in DVOA, 11th in EPA per dropback, 10th in success rate per dropback, which I think pretty aptly sums up what we've seen so far. It's been pretty average, not bad, but certainly not great. Now, where we do need to give the Jets some credit is on the offensive line, because if you remember, the Jets offensive line last year was an actual crime scene. I mean, not only was it terrible, but they were so injured, and they brought in these pieces, and everyone was like, oh, the Jets offensive line is going to be great. And part of me was like, hey, it's great on paper, but it's the Jets. I'm sure they'll screw it up. Check it out. After 2 weeks, the Jets offensive line first in pressure rate allowed. They've allowed the least amount of pressure of any offensive line in the NFL. Never thought those words would come out of my mouth. They're 10th in pass blocking grade, 13th in pass blocking win rate. Now, Aaron Rodgers gets rid of the ball quickly, certainly helps with these numbers, but no question, we've seen a huge jump in the Jets offensive line in terms of pass protection. And this is not the New England Patriots pass rush of 2023. Judon's gone. Well, he was gone for most of last year too. He was hurt. They're 19th in pressure rate, 17th in sack rate, 7th in pass rush grade, 6th in pass rush win rate. This is still a solid pass rush, but it's not last year. So I actually expect Aaron Rodgers to have some clean pockets to throw from in this one. Now, whether or not he turns those into some big plays, we'll have to wait and see. Now, what about the Jets run game though? Definitely a little bit of a disappointing start here through 2 games, 84.5 rushing yards per game, 3.93 yards per carry. But there is something we have to mention here, and you probably already know what I'm going to say. Look at who they've played. They played at San Francisco week 1, Monday Night Football, and then they played the Titans. That Titans defensive front 7, I mean, that's going to be one of the best run defenses in the NFL. I have them right up there with the Texans, the Falcons, the Lions. I mean, I have the Titans right up there in terms of the best run defenses in the NFL. So how can we judge the Jets' run game based on these numbers? I mean, through 2 games, the 49ers and the Titans, that's a gauntlet to start trying to run the ball. To be honest, I'm looking at that 3.93 yards per carry, and considering who they've played, I actually think that's pretty solid. That's why I'm not really worried when it comes to the Jets' offensive line numbers in terms of run blocking. Yeah, they're 23rd in adjusted line yards. Yeah, they're 32nd in yards before contact, but they're still 10th in run blocking grade. Basically, that's taking into consideration who they've played. I actually think the Jets are going to be able to run the ball a little bit this year, so I'm not worried. I mean, they like I said, they went through the gauntlet as far as trying to run the ball through the first 2 weeks. But here's the problem with that. They're playing the Patriots. New England had, I believe it was the 2nd best run defense in the NFL last year. So far this season, they're allowing just 58 rushing yards per game, 3.31 yards per carry. But if you look at some of their advanced metrics, there's a drop-off here. 3rd, 2nd, and 2nd last year. This year, 19th, 9th, and 15th. Why is that? Look at who they've played. Cincinnati, Seattle. 2 teams that couldn't run the ball last year. 2 teams we don't really expect to be able to run the ball this year. So they haven't played a team that can run the ball yet. So even though you can look at the stats from the first 2 weeks and look at the stats from last year and be like, there's no way Breece Hall and the Jets are going to be able to run the ball in this game, I actually think they're going to. I think the Jets are going to be able to run the ball in the Patriots in this game, which is why I guess I have to bet the Jets. Oh, man, this is ugly. It's Thursday Night Football. I'm placing a bet. There's no way I'm going to sit here and watch a Jets-Patriots Thursday Night Football game and not bet it. But all those injuries on the Patriots offensive line against the Jets defensive front, That's a nightmare, man. I really don't know what to do about that. But I truly expect the Jets offense to be able to move the ball at home against the Patriots defense. So I'll take the Jets. I'll take one of those 6s. Give me the Jets -6. In terms of the total, I don't know if I really expect the Patriots to contribute, but kind of lean towards maybe a Jets team total over. I think the Jets offense is gonna make some noise here, so maybe a Jets team total over. But my pick for the video, and I probably will throw a few dollars on it, Jets -6. If you'd like to see all the bets I currently have open, head over to KyleKirms.com and click on Open Bets. You'll see all mine as well as everyone on the staff here. Also, if you sign up for Sauce Network Plus, you get access to the Discord, and you can participate in the weekly betting league. $150, and one of these trophies go to the winner every single week. Oh, new week starts right now. Starts on Thursday. So if you're watching this and the game hasn't started, you still have time. The deadline 7 p.m. Eastern time. You got to submit your bets on the site or in the Discord by 7 p.m. Eastern time to get in on the new week. So head over to the website and sign up if you're interested. Live show, 4 p.m. Eastern time. We're doing the MLB in the morning, by the way. So 11:30 a.m., me and Toast will go through the MLB slate. Then 4 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be back. We're doing this game. We're doing the college football game, App State, South Alabama. There's a college football game on Thursday night. Then we're going to go through 4 or 5 other college games and maybe an NFL game or 2. So if you want to come back at 4 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be live talking some football. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Let's have ourselves a good week 3, man. Remember to bet responsibly. I'll talk to you in the Discord.